I'm okay with that. I love pizza. Oh, man. Welcome to Full Metal Mouse.
Whoa. Sorry.
You're not feeling well.
Missed my cue.
He probably has a respiratory infection.
Ugh.
I do have a respiratory infection.
Sweet.
I didn't have a voice for like 3 weeks.
I know.
That's why we couldn't record anything for a while. We were supposed to, right after San Diego, we were supposed to record. And because they had all kinds of cool stuff. New Doctor Strange trailer. I will mention that was pretty cool.
Pretty freaking awesome.
And obviously, we just talked about on the BSI Comics podcast. There was a new Rogue One trailer. Pretty cool. I know you weren't as big on it as the teaser that had come out.
It was cool, but I was already excited from the teaser. So
yeah. So, but we're not going to talk about trailers today. Like that was your whole trailer minute. So
trailers are pretty cool.
So we got 3 stories today, and the first one is interesting because it actually proves me wrong. Something that I've been saying. I was saying for a while in 2015 that 2016 was going to be a year that would probably not be a good time to go to either Walt Disney World or to Universal Studios because in 2015 the attendance rates were ridiculous. I went to Universal on a day when you could not move. And I mean that almost literally. Even quick service restaurants were like an hour and a half wait to get food.
I've only been in the parks one time like that, and it was miserable. I just went back to the hotel.
Well, I mean, you expect it on times like New Year's Eve, which I was at New Year's Eve this past year. But I was saying, I was actually planning on taking a break from Florida for this year. But you and I have a trip coming up in 2 months that we both have to come up with a lot of money for. And so if y'all want to donate money to our trip, we'll broadcast live.
You can find me on eBay at...
You can find me on 4th Street, turning tricks. Yeah, but that's Full Metal Mouse. We can do that here.
All right.
So, turn tricks. I can... no.
I'm not proud.
But I had said, it was going to be a bad time to go to Disney Universal this year because I figured this was going to be a year of adjustment where people were going to kind of say, this is going too far, or this is too expensive, or there's too many people. And it would kind of settle out. Turns out I was wrong. The attendance has been declining, at least at Disney. I'm not sure if Universal's had a slowdown. But I assume if Disney does, there's almost a guarantee that Universal has as well.
Right.
And Disney's, I don't know if they're panicking, but there's definitely going to be a lot of discounts and upgrades coming up in 2017 as a result. Which I'm of 2 minds because I'm kind of glad because it means that you and I, when we're there in October, one of my best friends, Josh, and his wife are going to be there as well. The rum guy, who was a big part of the previous incarnation of this, Radio DCP, should be joining us. So it's going to be, it's always a party when the rum guy shows up. And occasionally there's...
That man can dance.
Like Rex and blood. But that's usually on accident. Love you, Rummy. Anyway, so part of me is excited, because it means we won't have to wait in knee-deep lines and stuff like that, and we should be able to experience more and do the things we want to do.
Maybe we can ride that Frozen thing.
Maybe. I'm still betting we won't be able to. And I'm okay with that. I'm interested in it, but I'm not waiting 3 hours to ride Frozen. It's not going to happen. Although people are saying it's really impressive, and that it's one of the better things Disney's done in a while.
It's one of my favorite stops in Epcot.
Norway?
Yeah.
Because of the, what's the name, bread?
School bread. You get iced coffee. Good.
Okay. It's not really strictly for food reasons, though.
No, I like the old ride, too. So.
I haven't ridden Maelstrom, and I can't, obviously.
Well, you're not going.
Yeah. But I hadn't ridden Maelstrom.
It was always nice because it was really cold in there, and you can go and ride that and just kind of chill out, and no one was ever waiting in line for it because it was Maelstrom,
Right.
Except for the last time we went, there was a crazy wait for it, and I don't know why.
Probably because people knew it was coming down.
This was before.
Oh, even before they announced it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, in any case, so the attendance slowdown, it does kind of suck because, like, I don't want to see Disney cut back on things.
I don't see cutting back any. I think we'll see another surge after they're done with all this construction.
So. You think so? Like, that could certainly, we had talked about doing single-day tickets because we need to do a video of, like, advice for first-timers sometime soon. But one of the things I always tell people is consider your options because you don't have to go with a park hopper. Park hoppers, they don't double the price, but they do add quite a bit to the price.
It's cool. It's unnecessary for some people.
Right. Not everyone. And there are reasons to get park hoppers. Mm-hmm. But just because you're going doesn't mean you have to get them. And so we had been talking about doing that. About getting single park tickets, but the problem is that if we do single parks, we're not doing Hollywood Studios. We have to have a park hopper if we're doing Hollywood Studios because Hollywood Studios is not a full day park at the moment at all. And some people argue it never was.
It was pushing it before to stay there all day.
Right. Now I can't. I love that. It's one of my favorite parks. But yeah, at the moment with half the park shut down,
right.
No, even with the new...
Which just means you're not going to get on Toy Story Mania unless you fast pass it and come back in 5 hours.
You almost have to.
They did open the third track, though. They opened the third track for that.
Oh, is that officially open? I wasn't aware of that. But yes, we hadn't decided if we were, but I assume we're not going to Hollywood Studios on this trip.
Probably.
And that's okay. We'll probably do Magic Kingdom at Epcot. We're hoping to do Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
That's another cool thing. Like Mickey's Not So Scary, you can get in the park at 4 o'clock, so you can go make a day at Disney Springs, or if you want to.
And you can ride everything.
If you want to go do some outlet shopping or stuff not in the actual park, and then come back, from 4 till how late does Not So Scary go? Is it midnight?
It's like midnight, 1 in the morning, something like that.
Right, and you can ride whatever you want with no line. It's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, if you want to ride Space Mountain 10 times in a row, you can pretty much do that in an hour.
I was riding Big Thunder like back to back.
And I still haven't ridden the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, so this might be the year that I do that. So,
I hope it's not overhyped for you.
I've heard that it's cute, but it's just short. Mm-hmm. But it's impressive, supposedly. We'll see. If anything's better than Little Mermaid, so...
We're going to try to get you to eat at Be Our Guest. You haven't eaten there yet?
We talked about doing that for lunch. Yeah, I haven't eaten there. I don't know if I've done MK since Be Our Guest officially opened. I don't think I have. So next story. Now this is Full Metal Mouse, folks. Now we don't really talk about politics on here, but we speak our mind. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm definitely a Second Amendment advocate. But I have a real problem with the story that we're about to talk about. Some idiot tried to sneak a gun into Magic Kingdom. Now, it's a weird position to have for me because I do, see these stats where people get killed in gun-free zones because nobody has a gun. But it's Walt Disney World. You're in the Magic Kingdom. Let's be clear. If there's a terrorist attack in Orlando, the safest place is going to be in Walt Disney World because and not to say terrorist attack, but you know what I'm saying. If there's a shooting, there's going to be Orange County. Now, granted, Disney security are just regular, they don't go through a course or anything like that. They're actually barely allowed to touch anyone. But
what you're trying to say is, I have never felt safer than when I was in Disney.
Right,
I'm never worried about
Orlando, and granted, Disney's outside of Orlando, but Florida will protect Walt Disney World above anywhere else in the state of Florida. So there's no reason for you to bring your gun. And in particular, when you're talking about a place where you're going on roller coasters like Big Thunder Mountain, I don't care how safe a gun owner you are, you're taking a real risk of something happening and something getting bounced around. That's not, you don't hold your gun when you're holding a jackhammer, do you?
If you need to bring your pistol to Disney to feel safe,
you need to stay home.
You need to just stay in your house. Leave your tinfoil hat on.
Right, it's upsetting. I don't. I get being a Second Amendment guy. I don't know. This dude, I'm assuming, is a lunatic. I'm assuming it's not.
There's a difference in believing in something and taking it to that extreme.
Right.
Like, yeah, I think you can have a gun, but you don't need to bring it like to the grocery with you, every time.
All right.
It's a little unnecessary.
I'll probably go farther than I should. I'm fine with women breastfeeding in public, but I do think there should be a little bit of decorum about it. And I remember one time I was in over in Animal Kingdom, and It's Tough to Be a Bug, and there was like probably 100 people in that little room waiting to go into the main hall.
How do we get on this from gun control?
Because it's just talking about what people should be allowed to do and using a little bit of sense. But I remember this woman just like whips her tit out and starts feeding her kid, and I'm like, I mean, yeah, but like, why not go to the back or something like that? Like, you have to be in the middle of the room. Like,
me and my lovely wife, Miss Boogie, were actually talking about this the other day because we went to the doctor. There was this real bizarre poster in support. At the female doctor, they're always a proponent for breastfeeding, which is great.
Except for that one woman, Joan.
It was this really weird poster. It was weird to me. And the woman was breastfeeding her child out on the lake, or out on the river, I'm sorry, out in downtown New Orleans. And the rest of the family was just looking in awe at her breastfeeding, staring. And I was like, man, it feels like me. I would personally not want that out everywhere. I have no problem with, like you said, breastfeeding in public, and that's what you do.
I don't think you should kick somebody out for breastfeeding. But
Absolutely
at the same time,
not.
Maybe just use a little bit of discretion, though.
But wouldn't you not want people seeing your stuff right out in?
Oh, I definitely. And look, sorry, now I'm coughing. That woman whipped it out, and I was having a hard time not looking. I'm sorry, it's gonna happen. You break out a titty, and I'm gonna look.
And that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't want people like him staring at my junk.
But my point is, whether you're talking about guns or breastfeeding or whatever it is, I feel like people need to use a little more discretion. Just think it through. No, I'm not comparing breastfeeding to bringing a gun in the Magic Kingdom, obviously. But yeah, and again, this person, I didn't read the whole story. I don't know what the guy's background is. He could have been a criminal or something like that. But no matter what it is,
he could have been a cop. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you don't need a gun in the Magic Kingdom ever. You need a smile. Right. So moving on from that to something less dicey, but a little more touchy, and a lot less smiles. So there was a story that came out that Walt Disney Imagineering is making some cuts, and they haven't produced a list of who's getting fired. As far as I know, I looked at the story.
They have to release a list of people that they're firing.
They don't have to, but Disney fans are very specific, and they have Disney fans like extreme Disney fans, not like you or I who love it but aren't necessarily. We're not doing research into how the Cinderella's castle was constructed.
I'll tell you who's not getting fired. 50 earrings in 1 ear guy.
Actually, that guy is supposedly on the list.
Really?
Yes. So that guy's name is Joe Road or something like that.
That guy is Disney Imagineering.
That guy scares the shit out of me. And I wanted to bring him up because the reason that you just brought him up is because he was recently, I think within days of this news coming out, on a video where they announced what they're going to be doing with the California portion of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Because as far as we know, there's probably going to be a severe difference between the Disneyland Guardians of the Galaxy attraction and the Walt Disney World one. The Walt Disney World one is supposedly going to end up in Ellen's Universe of Energy, which I thought it was going to be Mission Space, and I kind of wish it was. I like Universe of Energy. It's a good place to cool down when it's hot. But anyway.
But you don't like it for its actual purpose.
No, not at all.
Right?
It's a boring attraction, but it's a great place to spend a half hour and get cooler when it's hot. But so Joe Road did the video, and the whole time I was telling you, I was like, I get it. I get that this guy's a legend, and I might be getting his name wrong. Sorry. But I get that this guy's a legend and all that, and he's done great stuff for Disney, and I appreciate that. but why is he hosting the fucking video? Like, he's the guy, like, the whole time I'm supposed to be paying attention to the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm very interested because I kept saying that it was a stupid idea, but it looks cool. I don't know. But the whole time I'm just looking at his ear, and it looks like his fucking ear's melting. And
It's kind of like,
yeah, I'm like, please don't let his ear burst open. And I've seen the guy before, so I know it's not going to happen. But in my brain, I'm like, it looks like it's gonna burst. It looks like it's melting, and it's freaking me out. And I'm like, why would you put that guy on the video? Anybody else? Why would you put that guy on the video? And I guess they did it because they were going to fire him, and they wanted him to have his last hurrah.
I guess.
You didn't think it was going there, did you?
Oh, I did. I knew where that was
But, so, yeah, and so what I'm interested in is this. Why are these cutbacks why are these people being fired? Now, they're being offered severance packages. They're not just getting a middle finger and a pink slip.
going. Right.
But, so why are these people being fired? Now, let's look at what's going on at Disney right now. First of all, what have we not heard any news about in a very long time now? Avatar. Who's going with Avatar?
Oh, is that still a thing?
Yeah, it's still happening.
Oh.
Supposedly.
Wow.
It's been pushed back more and more, partially because the movies are being pushed back.
Maybe just stop and do something else.
I don't think they can. I think they put in a lot of money into this. I don't know if they can. But usually, like,
Business,
what
we'll
are
call
we?
that an L.
Are we
Just
3 years in
Take your
now?
L. Move on.
What are we, like 3 years into this now or something like
I
that?
don't even know, man.
It's
Honestly,
at least 3 years, and we still don't know. Like, we know there's a Rivers of Light attraction.
I have zero interest in that. Like, it may be just like the movie. It looks beautiful, but okay.
But we don't know if we will have an interest because we don't know what they're doing.
I saw the movie.
We know that there's those
I get
giant like platforms that they already built.
James Cameron, I get it. We're destroying the planet. I get it. I got it 5 minutes in.
You know what's really destroying the planet? Making billions of dollars worth of like DVDs.
I got it after the 3 hours of the movie. I got it. What are you going to do next time? We're going to destroy another planet? I get it.
No, we're destroying the same planet. So we haven't heard anything about Avatar in a very long time. We don't know anything that's going on with Star Wars Land.
Maybe they're not getting fired. Maybe they were just like, fuck it, I'm not working on this shit anymore.
Oh, that's a possibility. I don't think that's the case, but that's a possibility. Well, my point is is this a sign that Disney's not happy with the attractions that are being designed for Star Wars Land and Avatar? And in particular, I'm thinking Avatar.
I don't know, man. I don't think that this group has so many, hits under their belt. Maybe it's because
But they have misses too. I don't know. Again, we don't know who's being fired or who designed what. But if you look at a lot of things Disney's done lately, like it has, like there's been hits.
Is it because it's licensed property that it's something different?
No, because Avatar is a licensed property, but Star Wars isn't. Toy Story isn't. They own all that.
Star Wars is
They own the license.
Oh, right.
They own the company.
Because it's not just like a Disney thing. It's something else.
Yeah, but Lucasfilm answers to Disney at this point.
Right.
It's not like Marvel, where Marvel has some autonomy because they've proven success. So, again, and I could be wrong too, but what is this?
Maybe they're just more efficient. They don't need that big of a workforce.
I don't think that's true. Unless their plan is to just keep making more restaurants and hotels, which might be the case. That's what it feels like with Disney a lot lately. And it might be a thing where maybe they need new blood. Maybe some of these guys are just older and they feel like past their prime. But it's a really weird time for this to be happening, is my point.
How do you go somewhere else after working for Disney?
A lot of people go to Universal and have a better time, honestly.
Really?
Universal, the difference, as I understand, between Disney and Universal is that with Disney, obviously, there's just layers upon layers of bureaucracy. And there's obviously a lot of infighting going on over the last however many years. Whereas Universal, there are layers of bureaucracy, but far less. You're not talking about, this corporation and that corporation, or this company and that company and this company and that company. You're just talking about like Universal Creative, Universal heads, and then who is it? Is it Viacom that owns Universal now? I forget who bought it out. Comcast. Comcast bought Universal. So you just have a couple layers on there. With J.K. Rowling, it's a little bit different, but for the most part, they have a lot more autonomy at Universal to create better stuff, which is why Universal's been killing it over Disney. It's not that Disney doesn't have great people. It's just that if a Disney Imagineer wants to make Ride A this tricked out super roller coaster, he doesn't just go to 2 people. He goes to 50 of them.
Right.
And if one of those people out of the 50 is like, I don't think we need to spend that much money, you need to cut it down, then, and I mean, you're a creative person. That's what happens when you deal in a creative position. You have to deal with the financial people, and that's a good thing too.
Yeah, I was about to say, it could also be a better thing for the park itself.
But it depends on, there's got to be some give and take on both sides for something to really work out in a creative endeavor. So, again, weird news. I wonder if we'll ever find out more, like if we'll know how this all shakes out. But I do have a suspicion that I don't think Star Wars Land is in trouble. I think they know what they're doing with Star Wars Land.
Yeah.
But I feel like Avatar Land might be where people are.
But like you're saying, how could they be like on track when the movies aren't on track? I mean, we're so far removed from the first movie.
This should have never been done. The problem is this was their answer to Harry Potter. And they figured, well, it's the biggest selling movie of all time, right?
Right.
But it's not a movie that's well remembered. Like, people are like, yeah, it was really cool when I saw it in theaters, but no, I don't know. No, I don't really care to see it again.
Right.
No, it's not a very good movie. It's just beautiful. And there is respect to be given to James Cameron and to the input that he has. He was a big part of the Terminator 2 3D. Like, he actually directed, like, most of the film for that. Like, he was highly involved in that. And he's a very creative person. But, like, Avatar's not... He thinks Avatar is, like, his pinnacle. And it's not. Like, maybe technically it is, like, on the technical side, but creatively, it's absolutely not. So...
It's not, I'm not going to travel across the world or halfway across the world to go to Avatar Land. I will travel halfway across the world to go to Magic Kingdom.
Right.
I will travel halfway across the world to go to a Star Wars themed park. A Marvel themed park. But Avatar, I don't think has the same pull. Like maybe replace A Bug's Life with like an Avatar themed thing, and that's enough.
I would be mad. I like it stuff to be like. No, I know what you're saying.
Give me one ride like that lets us know that we're fucking up the planet. I get it.
Or how about this? How about just turn that area into an environmental themed land? Because that's the thing. Like, it's been said millions of times. This is the most controversial decision in the history of Walt Disney World, and really in the history of these Disney theme parks. It's more controversial than Disneyland Paris and Euro Disney. Like, people were not happy with this idea, and they went through with it.
Dumb.
So, again, I could be wrong, but I have a feeling this is
and then, like,
to Avatar
more
Land.
important than anything, think about the restaurants in Avatar Land. What are we going to eat? You can't serve meat. You can't kill the animals. We're going to have, like, neon glowing lettuce.
There should be a part of Avatar Land where you kill what you eat.
But you have to eat the whole thing?
Yes. Down to the bone. And then make a tent out of it. I don't know.
Like a weird blue person walks up here and like, we don't waste anything.
I feel like we've gone too far and we should pull back. So, real quick, speaking of Disneyland Paris, I'm part of a group on Facebook. So, it's mostly English people. So I hear a lot about Disneyland Paris. So, there's some shenanigans going on where, like, apparently Disneyland Paris has a different deal than the American theme parks. Where some of their staff don't directly work for Disney. There's a union that is the night crew for Disneyland Paris that does the cleanup.
All right.
They went on strike recently and left the place absolutely like a wreck.
Like Bourbon Street?
Yes, that's actually, with the exception of the piss. Although it's France, I don't know. Maybe they do piss in the street. Anyway, so they left the place a mess, and I think the daytime crew had to clean it up. But weird stuff. It just everything I hear from the people, like our friends over at Diz After Dark, excuse me, Diz After Dark, Craig Lucas. Yeah, I know the name of your show. I do listen to it. Nick Branch, what's up? But I hear from a lot of these people about Disneyland Paris, and it sounds like the least interesting Disney park in the world, because there's like 9 of them at this point. Sounds like if you're not in America, go to Asia. Don't go to France. You're less likely to be blown up. Anyway, I think that's about it. Did you have anything else you want to talk about?
Not really.
I'm really excited for our trip. I mean, if we can get the money for it.
Well, we don't have a choice.
You're right, we don't. So, all right. Well, I guess that's it. You need to go spend some time with your wife. I need to go get something to eat. So, I don't remember what our sign off is for this.
Normally, it's like that's why we love Disney. But
that's why we love Disney.
Since we're talking about Avatar Land, like that's what we don't like.
I still love it. Wink.
Okay, so in the intervening time between when this episode was shot and, well, this minute, I was listening to friends of the show, Diz After Dark podcast. If you, I believe we actually mentioned them in this episode. If you've never checked them out, go ahead. They're a really great show. Great group of guys, aside from Craig Lucas. Horrible human being. Absolutely horrible human being. And I don't know where I was going with that. But check out Diz After Dark podcast. And but they were talking about the Imagineer situation. And everything I've read, and I'm not connected to Disney. I don't have like inside information or anything like that. But everything I've read says that they haven't quite said why the layoffs are happening. But Diz After Dark actually had a much better idea of probably what happened. Shanghai Disney has been a source of a lot of trouble for Disney. And even though the park looks amazing and they have some incredible rides that I would like to one day be on. We've talked about the Tron ride, and I know they've got an Iron Man thing going on. And anyway, the whole park looks amazing. But as I recall, it went massively over budget. And so the guys at Diz After Dark, well, it's not just guys now. There's also a new female member. But the people, because, you know, it's 2016, and apparently you have to be, like, really... Yeah, I know, I'm kind of running off at the mouth. Doesn't matter. But anyway, they're pretty sure it's Shanghai Disneyland, which makes a lot more sense. Obviously, as we were talking about Avatar Lands, certainly a problem that the Disney corporations had, but the Shanghai Disneyland was massively over budgeted, so that makes sense. I guess that's it. So I just wanted to correct that. As much as it is a correction, I mean, that's probably right, but could be wrong too. In any case, I'm assuming I was wrong. So that was that. All right. That's why we love Disney.